Hey guys, it's Autumn here, and welcome back to another D&D Storytime. We are again talking about the Whitestone campaign, given that's the only one we've been playing recently, and it's actually super fun to talk about and tell you guys about. So I believe last time I left off, our intrepid heroes had made their way to the city of Amon, if I'm not mistaken, had gotten information about Poem's master, and were then given a job by Gilmore of Gilmore's Glorious Goods to head to the city of Onoa along the coastline. Upon their arrival in the city of Onoa, upon traveling to the city of Onoa, they found a note giving another one of my characters, Agro, information about the possibility of his wife being in the city of Singorn, which is the same location that Poem was indicated to head to in order to find his master, which is fantastic and gave me good reason to push them towards that location. They also befriended a very, very tiny baby red dragon, who they gave the nickname of Shortclaw to, given that she is small. She is a wormling red dragon, and they are now friends with her for the time being, and it seems for the foreseeable future will continue to be her friend, and are attempting to teach her to be a good dragon as opposed to an evil dragon, which is going quite interestingly. Let's see, what else? So they made their way to the city of Onoa. The main three of the group found their way into the city and found a gray tiefling by the name of Walken. He asked them in exchange for goods to give Gilmore for their assistance in collecting money throughout the city of Onoa from individuals, to which the party agreed. They assisted him in collecting taxes, money. They didn't question necessarily what was happening and just went along with it. Upon arriving at the last location that they were going to find money, they came upon an apparent empty helm to find an individual turned to silver, platinum actually, but looked silver. Walken thanked them for their assistance, took the gentleman made of platinum away, and then the party proceeded to fight a rock, or what they believe to be a rock, behind this home, searching out an individual who seemingly turned the man into platinum within the home. They succeeded in fighting the rock, which allowed them to level up given the difficulty of the battle. The rock then melted into nothing, back into mud, and left the party thoroughly confused. They then went to Walken the next day, got two items that they were seeking out. One was an animated shield, and then another was a special customized item, which is a flute of sleep, which was given to the bard Darmel. The animated shield was gifted to Poem, who is the monk. So after they did all this, they decided that they would stage a heist to steal more magical objects from Walken, in which they all succeeded in stealing 7 additional items, including a bag of holding, the Sword of Cass, which I adjusted the spelling for CAS given some in-game funness that I've implemented for some of the party members, a deck of many things, and a couple other just spare odds and ends that they have, including Wings of Flying, which Agro currently has possession of. So after they finished in Onoa stealing the objects, they fled from the home of Walken, lit him on fire, and then put him to sleep, and then ran back towards the city of Amon. Before reaching the city of Amon, however, Michael the druid was contacted by their sister and told that their sister was seemingly kidnapped and seemed to be in the same direction as the city of Singorn. And that led all 3 of my main party members, who had staked quite a bit in going this direction, pushing them towards the city of Singorn. So Michael, Poem, and Agro decided that they would go back to Amon only after they've been to Singorn and followed up the information that all three of them had been given. And they made their way towards the city, along with Shortclaw. They eventually found their way to the city, though not before being mildly attacked by a flying individual who thunderclapped them as they sat still for a minute, laughed at them, and then flew off towards the city. The individual who thunderclapped them is the character I'm actually working on right now. I don't normally give my villains their own kind of illustrations, but for this specific circumstance, I felt that it was necessary, given that they were headed in that direction and the villains that assaulted them are quite interesting. So this is Lillian Raverna. She is the individual who was flying. She also has wings of flying, which is a cloak that gives you either raven or bat wings. And she is a fighter wizard. So having the ability to action surge and use multiple spells on a turn is beautiful, and actually came in handy. So our intrepid heroes found themselves into the city of Singorn and found a place to stay for the evening and stock their cart and Shortclaw. Shortclaw getting a very special bedded chamber of sorts within an animal barn, sort of. It's a very specific kind of thing that happened in game, so I can't remember precisely how I described it. So they did that. Poem and Agro headed out into the city of Singorn to find an apothecary, on which they found one of the other villains who I drew in my creating an NPC video, if you're interested in his design. His name is Ferritol, the Overgrowth, though just Overgrowth is normally what I call him, because it's way easier. And within the apothecary, the Poem bought, he bought 6 things of ingredients for healing potions, and then left, and Agro was then charmed by Overgrowth to follow him. And away they went from the shop. Once they had left, Poem waited for a few minutes, then went back inside to find him no longer there. Michael and the rest of the party had found their way to the inn and just were relaxing for the evening. And Poem decided to steal as many more potions as he could, giving him a grand total of 12 healing potions he could make given the time. And he then defecated, I suppose is the best way to put that, in a jar in the shop, because that's what he does. And then Michael eventually found their way to the apothecary to find Poem, and they went off searching after Agro. As they were sneaking around, though not very well, because if I remember correctly, they both rolled 12s, which was impressive given Poem has like a +7 to stealth. And they were eventually followed by Lillian, who was running along the rooftops, attempting to hide from them, though not well. And Poem confronted her. Poem was then charmed, attempted to throw her off a roof, because tabaxis. And he then followed her towards the same location that Agro was taken, which was a cellar in the more residential district of the city of Singorn. Upon their arrival in the cellar, they were trapped in there. The charm then dropped, and Michael ran back to the tavern to find the rest of their allies. And then they went back to the same location Poem and Agro disappeared to. And during the time of them attempting to break in, Storm of Wind, who is Poem's master, and Agro's wife, Raven Valoran, presented themselves to them while they were magically tied to chairs after Poem had attempted to escape using a teleportation ability of his, and instead ended up hitting a wall a couple times. So once they were in there, Poem was very angry. Agro was very confused, and it was very interesting. Eventually, their allies did break through, though. Michael, Darmel, and the two rogues, or the one rogue. Yeah, the one rogue. And Kira was in the room with them the entire time. And they eventually broke in past two boundaries. One, a magically locked door, and the other, a stone wall that seemed to have materialized in between the two rooms. And they broke it down and engaged in combat with Storm of Wind, Raven, and Lillian and Overgrowth, leaving Poem at 3 hit points, aggro at something like 7, somewhere in that range, low hit points, and the rest of the party relatively full on health from the damage. And Poem was unhappy and attempted to attack his master multiple times, and only hit a couple times. And during their kidnapping had stolen a sword that had sealed a deity inside, Authorial, which was a residuum infused sword, which I believe I talked about last time. Was stolen by Storm of Wind initially. And Raven and Storm eventually both disappeared. Raven using a dimension door, and Storm of Wind using feline agility that gave her like stupid amounts of movement because she's high level to just go and leave. And Lillian and Overgrowth also left after putting up a wall of thorns, given specialized abilities. So that's not all of the things that have happened, but that is the majority of the things. I will finish telling the story next time, as I am running low on time. This is the last video for this year, so I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and I will see you guys on January 1st for our first video, like normal. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next year. Bye, everyone.
Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to check out another one over there, and if you want to see the full playlist for this series, check out over here. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!